Good morning, students. Today we'll do a new lesson in grammar, transitive and intransitive, and auxiliary verbs. Now, auxiliary verbs you already know I have taught you, but I'm going to do transitive and intransitive. The reason I've included auxiliary here is because these are the three different types of verbs. Okay, so let's begin. There are three kinds of verbs. The first one, A, transitive verbs. A verb that needs an object to complete its sense is called a transitive verb. Now, what do you mean by transitive? Means transferring. Okay, it transfers from one to another. That's exactly what you mean by transitive. So, it passes over the action from the doer to some object. Now, I'll show you the example. Listen very carefully. Now, this sentence, Sheetal wrote a letter. So now you have this. What is first of all, you just look at the action. What is the action? Wrote. So that means this is the verb. Correct? Now who wrote the letter? Sheetal. So the person doing the action is the subject. Now what action did she do? Write. And what did she write? Or on what she wrote? A letter. So this is your object. So here the action is passing from Sheetal to the letter. Okay, that is here exactly passing from the doer to some object. This is the doer and this is your object. So it's very important in a transitive sentence to have an object here after the action. Okay, you should have an object over here that is a noun after the verb action. A noun or a pronoun you need over here. Okay. Now I'll give you another example. Not of what's here. Supposing I say the cat killed the rat. Uh, what is the action? The cat is doing some action, that is killed. Okay, or did some action, killed. Now what is he killing? That action is being done on somebody or something, the rat. So the action is passing over from the cat to the rat. Clear? Such a verb is called a transitive verb. Okay, so now let's see the example I've given over here. Harry loves cricket. Now what is the action of loving? He loves. Who loves? Harry loves. What does he love? Cricket. So you have an object over here. Okay, so the action is passing from Harry to cricket. From Harry, the action is passing to cricket because his love is going towards cricket. Okay, here you have subject, verb, and object. This is very important. This, you need an object for the verb to be a transitive. So, letter is the object of the verb wrote. See, letter is the object of the verb wrote. And cricket is the object of the verb loves. Now, let's go to, oh, I made a big mistake over here. Instead of writing intransitive, I wrote transitive. Please change this to intransitive verbs. Okay. So please remember when you're writing, this is not transitive, this is intransitive. I've written in the over here, but the heading I've written it wrong. Okay, so let's go ahead. A verb that does not require an object to make sense is called an intransitive verb. So the sentence is complete even without an object. That's when it's called an intransitive verb. Just an action is given, but no object. Okay. See, the subject and the action is given, but no object. Now, how is it possible? I'll show you the examples. The action does not pass over to an object. See the first one, the child. Now, the child is your subject and doing something. What does he do? What is he doing? Plays. So your action is shown that the child plays. Pass. That's the end of the sentence. So your sentence is complete. The child plays, the child does not play, the child talks, he does not talk. Okay, that's the end of your sentence. You do not need an object over here. to make it a complete sentence. Even this by itself is complete. It does not require an object. This verb does not require an object. So it is an intransitive verb. Next one. Now this you have to be a little careful because it's a little tricky. She laughs loudly. See, who is the subject? She. What is she doing? The action is laughs, correct? But here there is a word after the action. Here you see there was no word after the action. So it's quite easy to remember. It's quite easy to realize that there is no object after this, correct? Now here there is a word, but look carefully. This is not a noun or a pronoun. To have an object, it should be a noun or a pronoun. This is an adverb which is describing this. Action is not passing over here. It is only telling you how she laughed. So it's describing this action. So it is an adverb, not a noun or a pronoun. For it to be an object, you need a noun or a pronoun over here. Clear? Okay. So this is an intransitive verb because there is no object. Supposing I add, she laughed loudly at her friend. Over here, I had to add at her friend. So now what she's doing, laughing at her friend, so that time the action is passing on to her friend, which is the object. That time it will be transitive. Clear? But since this is not there here, this is the end of the sentence. This is in an intransitive verb. There's no object here, right? But remember, be very careful. Don't just think हाँ verb के बाद में एक word है और उसको डाल दिया as an object. No. See whether it is a noun or a pronoun. If it's not a noun or a pronoun, it's not an object. For it to be an object, it has to be a noun or a pronoun. Okay, the last one. Auxiliary verb. This, I told you it's a helping word, adds more meaning to the action, whether it's being done, it can be done, it should not be done, it should be done, or it will not be done. So all this, it gives you more meaning, like for an action to do. Okay, whether you can do, you cannot do, you will not do, you should not do. Yes, this all tells you more about the action do, whether you are willing to do, you are able to do, you are not able to do, you are unwilling to do. Okay, so it tells you more about the action. So it's a helping verb, it is also a verb, but it is helping the main verb. Okay, now let's see what the verbs are. A verb which helps another verb to form a certain tense or mood is called an auxiliary or helping verb. Example: is, am, was, were, do, does, will, would, should, shall, should, can, could, have had, may, might, ought to, etc. Now, what do they signify? Example: I can sing. So, can tells you that the person has the ability to sing. I will sing because he can sing, but he will not sing, or he will sing. So, here he has the willingness to sing. I could not sing. So, even though he wanted to sing, he could not sing. So, he had the disability to sing. So here about the same action, that is singing. It gives you different meanings just by adding these auxiliary verbs. Clear? Okay, now let's see your exercise. Right? Okay. Name the verb and tell whether it is transitive or intransitive. Where the verb is transitive, name the object. Okay, here. Now what are you supposed to do? Look at this. First I told you always start by looking at the action. Start by looking at the action. So what is your action over here? Rises. This is your verb. Now who rises? The sun. So this is your subject. Where does he rise? In the east. So it is a transitive verb. So how are you going to write your answer? You will write it is a transitive sentence and the east is your object. The east is your object. Okay. Time changes all things. The dogs, if it is intransitive, there will be no object, so you don't have to write, you only have to write intransitive. Only and only if it's transitive you will have an object, and at that time you will write the what the object is. Okay, now let's read all. Time changes all things. The dogs fought the cats. The car stopped suddenly. I have learnt my lesson. I could not spare the time. The soldiers fought fiercely. The baby sleeps. He ran a long distance. Keep your house clean. Okay, so you just have 10, and this is very easy. This is not very difficult. I should just keep it for 2 minutes for you, 2 seconds, so you can write it. And I hope you're able to do. I've almost finished your portion, just your dialogue writing left. So I will, the next video I will send you is on dialogue writing. So hope you're able to do the homework and do have a good day. Thank you.